was January of 1971, a little under a year after the near tragedy of Apollo 13. Space travel had always been a very dangerous prospect, but now more so than ever. It would take a person with grit, bravery, and the right amount of crazy to take on the upcoming Apollo 14 space mission. A person like Stuart A. Roosa. Stuart was a test pilot in the U.S. Air Force. He performed test flights on supersonic planes like the F-100 Voodoo and the F-101 Super Sabre. He would go on to graduate from the Air Force Institute of Technology and proceed to take a command as Chief Service Engineer at Tachikawa Air Base in Japan. Someone must have taken note of all of his accomplishments because in 1966 he was selected to participate in NASA's astronaut training program. And he would go on to be one of the 3 astronauts alongside Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell to brave the final frontier and the Apollo 14 space mission. But before all of that, he got his career started by working for the National Forestry Service as a smoke jumper. This job would require him to parachute into active wildfire situations and fight fires for several days, with his only form of support being through airdrops. Maybe not as technically challenging as getting shot into space, but just as terrifying. And it was because of this small connection to the Forestry Service that, before a spaceflight, he was contacted by them. Their chief, Ed Cliff, wanted to see if zero gravity had any effect on seed germination. And so they partnered up with NASA, and 500 tree seeds of a variety of species got sent into space and around the moon. And one of them ended up right here in Corvallis, Oregon. Most of these trees were planted ceremoniously for the USS Bicentennial, and after almost 50 years since their flight, they've grown quite a bit. There have been no discernible differences between these trees and their controls, although it's a bit hard to tell as most of the moon trees have been lost over time. There are currently 118 of them in NASA's database, and 42 of those are dead. In fact, in the mid-1990s, NASA employee Dave Williams worked on tracking down some of these moon trees, only to find an unmarked one right outside of his office. NASA is still working on trying to find some of these that are scattered all around the world, including the UK and Brazil. And there might be one located right outside your door, but probably not. We'll cut there because I have a hair in my mouth. Stuart A. Roosa unfortunately passed away in 1994 due to complications from pancreatitis. He was one of 24 people to have made the trip to the moon and back, along with these trees. It's kind of crazy to think that these trees have traveled further than any of us have. And if we don't make a return trip soon, these trees will be the only living things to have made it that far. Hopefully that'll change. Thank you for watching. NASA employee Dave Matthews, not Dave Matthews. I love you too! Thank you for watching. If you want to find a moon tree near you, I will leave a link in the description to NASA's moon tree database, which has moon trees in a lot of states. So I hope you can find one of your own. Big shout outs to the OSU College of Forestry for letting me shoot here and kind of take up too much time around here. Also big shout outs to my wife because she was the one holding the camera that entire first shot and her hands were cold and I owe her Chipotle. There's this cool like structure thing. I have a clip of it already that I'll use. Okay, well that works too. It's a cool little thing. So yeah, thank you for watching. I am gonna go get Chipotle.